So LeBron got the first technical of his career last night, first ejection of his career. He got a couple of technicals, which I don't, listen, I grew up with Magic. Magic never stopped leaning on the refs. I grew up with Michael Jordan, Barkley. These guys were all over the refs. Players today, it's just the AAU culture. They think that if they don't score, they were fouled. That's just the reality of basketball star players. Since I was a kid, the best players are like, I didn't score, I must have been fouled. Jordan and Magic complained more than any players in my life, and they're the two of the top three players I've ever seen in my life. But this one is interesting. So they threw him out because they gave him 2 technicals in like 3 seconds. And it feels like the first technical foul, the way it works in basketball, is supposed to be a warning. And instead, he gave him 2 in 3 seconds. He said he punched in the air and he swore. But the reality is it was one quick action. The referee also said it felt like LeBron aggressively pursued him. And if this is aggressively pursuing somebody, then my barista at Starbucks aggressively pursues my coffee every morning. This is too quick to have 2 technicals. This is like getting into an argument with your girlfriend and 15 seconds later then breaking up. Shouldn't you have a cool down period? This is getting pulled over for a speeding ticket and the cop says, you know what, you're going to jail. Let it breathe. That's what the technical foul is called for. That's the function of it. Technical, cool down, cool down, cool down. And if you go crazy at 15, 20, 30, second technical foul. Now, LeBron, like Michael, like Magic, it doesn't think he's getting the calls he deserves. He's gone to the line fewer times this year than at any point in his career at this time. This is very sort of predictable, his reaction.
One of the league leaders in points in the paint. I drive just as much as anybody. And if at this point, if you're not it's like almost they trying to turn me into a jump shooter. You know, I can't be a jump shooter. I'm not a jump shooter. You know, I watch games every single night and I see jump shooters going to the line multiple double-digit times every night. And I'm not a jump shooter, and I get fouled just like everybody else do. So going to the line one time and 3 times and 4 times, that's not what it's about.
Again, NFL does it right. First one's a warning. Take a deep breath. Nobody gets a speeding ticket in jail in 15 seconds. The speeding ticket's a warning. Slow down there, champ. You're going 50 into 35. 2 T's, 3 seconds. Give me a break. There's a great duality to life. I'll taking a job. If you take a big job, you get a big job promotion. What is the upside? Sometimes it's money, it's perks, it's recognition in your industry. That's an upside. The downside is there's pressure. There's a lot of travel, usually hours. Not people making the big money. Generally, they're traveling, a lot of time at work. There's a lot of heat. There's a lot of, there's people that want your job. And so, you think whenever you get a great job, yeah, but there's going to be pressure. There are going to be expectations. Sometimes they're unrealistic. The hours will be brutal. I have a couple friends with great incomes, and they travel a lot. So, that's the downside. You're away from you're sleeping in, a Marriott. You're not at home. You're not around your kids. So there's always a good and a bad. And that's why anytime you're a top 2 or 3 draft pick in the NBA, you're in a fishbowl. You got to be good. Well, the truth is the difference between a second pick and a 4th pick, it may be the team just has a need. The second pick may not be as good as the 5th pick, but the second team needs a forward and you're a forward, and the 5th team needs a point guard and you're a point guard. So it's just like, half the NFL is undrafted. The draft order should be perfect, but it never is. So when Lonzo Ball goes as the number 2 pick, A, there's pressure because of the pick. B, his dad's a loudmouth, more pressure. 3, it's the Lakers fishbowl. So here's a prime example. The number 1 pick this year in the NBA draft was Markelle Fultz. He's a mess. He can't shoot. They're redshirting him. Philadelphia is saying, it's his shoulder. Go online and look at the video. They're basically not letting him play. He's a shooter and now can't shoot. Do you see what happened to his free throws? That looked like Charles Barkley golfing. But it's Philadelphia. They've been bad forever. They don't have the legacy of the Lakers. Out in the East, they get overshadowed by the Celtics. Nobody cares. How about De'Aaron Fox, Sacramento last night, benched in the 4th, 2 for 10, 4 points, team crushed. Nobody cares. It's Sacramento. The top 6 rookies in this draft, Ben Simmons does not count. Remember, he was drafted draft 4. The top 6 rookies in this draft, one. Jason Tatum is playing well. And like Dak Prescott to the Cowboys last year, it's a perfect fit. He's got a great coach. He's got a star guard. They're not asking a ton for him. He's in a great system. He's in the awful Eastern Conference. In fact, of the 5 point guards drafted in the first 9 picks, all of them can't shoot anymore. All of them are under 40%, which is really bad. And the reason to me Lonzo is struggling is he's never been a lead singer. He's always been a drummer. And now we're all saying, well, he can't sing. He was never a singer. He's a drummer. He's Tommy Lee. He's not Bono. He never has been. So we're eating him alive because of his shooting. His rebounds are great. His assists are great. His length is great. His vision's great. His teammates like him. So you have to be very careful. Remember, the difference between college basketball and the NBA and college football and the NFL is speed. It's speed. That's what it is. So when these young guards come into the NBA, the game is so much faster. It's like having a typist. Let's say you're a really good typist and you type 50 words a minute. I don't know what they do on average, but you type 50 words a minute. You're a really good college typist. And then you're asked to be a professional typist and do 84 words a minute. It's going to take you a while not to make mistakes. They're asking now to speed up your typing. You're a really good typer at the college level. They only ask 50 words a minute. Now they're asking 40% more. And it's going to take you about a year of bailing water and making mistakes to get into a groove. Remember, as great as Carson Wentz is, remember, college football, you talk to a college football guy into the pros, the first thing they say, the quarterbacks, that game's a lot faster. Those defensive ends are faster than me. The linebackers are faster than me. The corners are faster. Carson Wentz and Jared Goff last year looked overwhelmed. But let's just take Carson Wentz. As great as Carson Wentz looks, there was a 5-game stretch last year for the Philadelphia Eagles. And we all love Wentz, right? He was 0-5 with 4 TDs and 8 picks with largely the exact same roster. Okay? Right now, Lonzo, the game, he should have stayed in college another year. He doesn't have an NBA body. He's a drummer, not a singer. And the game is way too fast for all these point guards. But he's a number 2 pick. He's got a loudmouth dad. He's in the fishbowl in the Lakers. And he's getting eaten alive. They play the Warriors tonight. And KD and Steph said, put on the brakes, man. He's top 7 in assists. The kid can play. Give him time.
He's a rookie. He's going through the ups and downs like every rookie has, whether you're highly touted or not. It's all a learning experience and trying to find your way and be comfortable. Hope you didn't judge me off my first 20 games in the league either.
Lonzo is just playing like a rookie. As far as learning the game, finding the ins and outs of the game and slowing down for him and picking and choosing his spots, and he's still figuring it out. And that's what, is he 19? That's what any 19-year-old will go through in the pros. So it's just a matter of him being in LA, so much eyes and scrutiny on him. But he's playing like he should play as far as, learning the game and adjusting on the fly.
Yeah, it's really hard. I've talked to Doug Gottlieb about this because Doug he was a great, not a good, but a great college basketball player. And here's what's happened to the NBA. There's no hand checking, and that happened about 10 years ago. This used to be a big man's game. And then they took out the hand check. And so now it's a small man's game because nobody can stop these point guards if you can't touch them. I mean, Michael Jordan, Gary Payton could steer you around the court. You can't touch point guards. So everybody can get to the basket. That's why you're seeing more injuries with point guards than ever before, because they can get to the basket, and when they get to the basket, they get run over by big guys. Wall's hurt. Derrick Rose is hurt. Kyrie's been hurt. All the top point guards, Westbrook, Patrick Beverley, they can all get to the basket now so effortlessly because you can't hand check them, they get hurt more. Because the game is such a guard-driven league, that you're now entering as a guard. De'Aaron Fox, we thought would be great. Lonzo Ball, Markelle Fultz. As a guard, you are entering this league, and they are going 100 miles an hour. Remember, college basketball is run not by players, but by coaches. So in college basketball, very few teams play at this pace, because in college basketball, you come up the floor, and Roy Williams goes, all right, 4, run the 4. And Tom Izzo goes, all right, slow it down, run the 3. In college basketball, the coaches are constantly slowing down the pace of the game. In the NBA with no hand check, the game's never been faster. And so When these young guys come in the league, even the talented guys, go back and look at Russell Westbrook's rookie numbers. He was awful. And he's significantly more athletic than Lonzo Ball. I don't think Lonzo's ever going to be a superstar. And I think his dad's a loudmouth and the Lakers is a fishbowl. But there are things he has that you can't teach and don't go away. Length doesn't go away. And to be a 6'5" long point guard will eventually be a huge, huge advantage. His vision, he doesn't need bifocals. That's not going away. You can't take those two things from him. He is never going to be a great shooter. That's why I don't believe he'll ever be a superstar player. Not going to be Magic. Not going to be LeBron. Could he be a really solid, culture-changing, pass-first point guard surrounded by a Paul George, Ingram, Kuzma, another free agent? Absolutely. Could he be the fourth best player on the Lakers and they could win a title? Yes, that's possible. By the way, a lot of these great point guards, John Wall can't win a second playoff series. Westbrook can't win a third. So I just think he's a drummer. We're asking him to be a lead singer, and the fishbowl's brutal here.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd, or go watch a few segments from the newest show on FS1, First Things First, with Chris Carter and Nick Wright.